Everyone's asking the same question right now. Did Atomy just change the marketing plan to pay us more or less? Because if you don't understand this properly, you could be building your business in the wrong way from today. So in this video, I'm going to break it down simply, what has actually changed and what it means for your income. Let's have a look. So it is all about your personal PV. Before the change, when you bought from your own ID, it did two main things. Firstly, it increased your dealership level. So your personal PV helped you move up from sales rep to agent to special agent and so on. But it did not directly increase your general commission. Now, number two, during a sales master cycle, your personal PV could be added to your smaller leg to help you achieve sales master, as long as you had over 300,000 PV or more. So I'm going to explain number two with an example. So let's have a look at this example. On the left, I have 2.5 million. On the right, 2.1 million. So my smaller leg is my right side. And me personally, I have 3,000 PV. At this point, I cannot achieve Sales Master yet. But if I was to add 400,000 PV during this cycle into my own ID, my personal PV becomes 700,000. So it makes me a special agent. And at that time, that 400,000 PV I added is given to my smaller leg. So my right side goes from 2.1 to 2.5 million. Now, because both sides have hit 2.5 million, I become Sales Master, and which means I receive my Sales Master bonus. So let's talk about what is changing. Okay, this is where things get very interesting. Before, your personal PV didn't directly affect your daily commissions, right? But now, your personal PV can combine with your smaller leg when your general commission is calculated at the end of the day. Which means, if you were to use this properly, you can actually increase your daily income. Let me show you how. So let's have a look at this example. Commission through PPV. On the 8th of April, on my left side, I'm just under 300,000 PV. So I cannot get a commission yet. Normally, I would have to buy on the left side to push it to 300,000 PV. But now with the new rule, let's have a look. If I add 8,700 PV into my own account, it's going to increase my personal PV, of course, but not only that, at the same time, it will combine with my smaller leg here to help me go over 300,000 and I hit commission. Okay, now this is not going to reflect or show immediately. It will update the next day. So as soon as it becomes the next day, 9th of April, okay, it must be Korea time always. Everything will reset back to 0 because the commission has been made. And I make that grade 7 and get my 15 points. So this is where it becomes very powerful. Now let's have a look at this next example, carried over PPV. This is very important as well. In this example, even though I bought from my own ID, combined with my smaller leg, it is still not enough to generate the commission. But nothing will be lost. Instead, that personal PV, it will be carried over to the next day. So the 9th is carried over and remain there and continue there to help you hit your next commission. So it won't be flushed out until you hit that commission. Let's have a look at another example. Sales dates are also very important. In this example, I made a purchase. So I made a purchase on the 8th, but I chose the sales date as the 9th. So even though my PPV, my personal PV has increased immediately, it's not going to show up on the orange section yet. Why? Because the sale date was 9th. So when the date actually changes to the 9th, okay, you can see immediately the PV appearing on the orange section. And only from that point onward, it's going to start working towards your commission. Now, another important fact is, coming back to this example of where putting personal PV helps you hit Sales Master, coming back to this example, The same PV you've added is not only helping you reach Sales Master, it can also help you generate additional commission. So it's doing two things at the same time, helping you achieve your mastership and increasing your income. Everyone is going to get an extra commission. And you can use this every time you challenge yourself to Sales Master. Now, also, it is much easier to check if you've hit Sales Master or not. So if we click on half month, you can now see whatever you put in your personal PV for that cycle directly here. So all you have to do is combine that number with your smaller leg at the end of the cycle. And as long as you've hit 2.5 million, you've achieved Sales Master. So it's very simple to view. Now, there are 4 important points that we have to look at. To qualify to use this, of course, we must have at least 10,000 PV or more in our ID. If we have less than 10,000 PV, we are not a distributor. And I must have at least one on the left and one on the right ID in order to be able to make use of this new rule. If I don't have any members on my right side, my PPV purchase will not reflect on my smaller leg because I don't have a smaller leg. Also, whatever I put in my personal PV will help me get my commission, but it will not reflect on my downline PPV. My downline will not get commission from that PV. So if you had members that you want to help get commission, of course, buy from under them. But if you had no member to help get commission and you would just want to build your ID as well as to help yourself get a commission, put it in your own ID. And this will be effective only from the 8th of April. So today it is effective, except for the China branch. They operate on a different business. Now, here are some important expected benefits of using this new rule. Number 1, my consumption becomes income. So everyone has those consumers, no matter how much you tell them to buy on the right side, they keep buying in their ID. So even those regular consumers who purchase only within the ID can still generate commission. Amazing. So there's lower barrier to earning commissions. Number 2, faster commissions can be generated. Instead of having to do 300,000 on your left and right and in your PPV, we can start earning with just 600,000 PV by doing it on one leg and my PPV. Number 3, we can get an increased commission for semi and sales master. Why? Because when we are upgrading our own ID from agent to special agent, now that would also reflect on my general commission, helping me get that additional commission, that extra 1 commission as we talked about before. And lastly, it's going to reduce that burden of building your dealership. Before, we tried to put PV in our own ID to increase the dealership, but it didn't help get commission. Now, as we build a dealership, we will still be earning more commission as well. So these changes are here to help you increase your income. And it's absolutely amazing that Atomy is doing this to help us. So with this new change in mind, if we continue to only buy from retail stores, the benefit that you actually receive is maximum 1 to 3%, really 1%. And if you were to buy from online shopping mall, other platforms, the maximum you would get is 3 to 5%. But in Atomy, including this change, the data shows that you would be receiving back up to 9.1% in cashback through using and choosing Atomy. So what do you think is the better choice? Your smart consumption now becomes income. Now, if this helped you understand the change better, hit like, subscribe, and share with your members so they can understand it too.